Welcome back to the Wolfpack Way. Ben, thanks so much for joining us today. Super excited to have you on board from Houston, Texas, and really excited to dive into your story because it's a little bit different, non-traditional than traditional real estate. And what you've done with the education for other agents and things is second to none. And the cool part now with co-sponsorship, although we're both kind of in the Wolfpack family, you would have the ability to co-sponsor with both Ben and I if something we resonate says today. So definitely comment in the comments below or follow the link and just make sure you mention Ben Deal in this interview, and we'll make sure that we link up so that you get both of our support. So Ben, how are you doing, man? Thanks so much for being on.
Yeah, doing great, man. Excited to be here.
Perfect. Cool. So let's kind of set the tone, right? You were in real estate investment early on and in a wholesaling and acquisitions and all of that. So take us through that life and what was the turning point to get your real estate license and become kind of the agent you are today?
Yeah, for sure. So, my journey in real estate started, 10 years ago when I moved to Houston. Essentially, my last corporate job brought me down here, and I just knew the corporate world wasn't going to get me to where I had to go. Like, I've been in sales my entire career, sales, business development, and I was tired of hitting, a ceiling on how much money I could make. I hated having a boss. I hated getting fired, even though I was producing and doing well. And I just consistently found myself getting tired and bored in the corporate game. And so that's when I got interested in real estate investing. I just started doing some research and found myself in a ballroom at the Bush Intercontinental Airport Marriott. And it was a Rich Dad Poor Dad class. It was a 3-day intro to real estate investing class. And my wife was pregnant at the time with our first daughter. And we just invested 3 full days of our time into that room and just learned about like this world of real estate investing. I just knew I wanted to make more money. I wanted to get out of my job. And importantly, I wanted to figure out how to create wealth. And I just knew investing in real estate is the closest, most accessible place for me and for many people in the world to do that is by investing in real estate. So really started there and invested, time that weekend getting into it. So from there, just started my journey off into real estate. Only God knew a plan for me, and I got fired shortly after I took that class. And thankfully, I had done what all of the real estate education courses, even that you see online, they just say, hey, go out, get into the community, go to your local real estate investment association, start networking, meeting people. And thankfully, I met a couple guys that were starting their own wholesaling operation down here in Houston. And I was like, hey, look, this is my background. I'm not real excited about building the entire marketing machine. And for those of you who don't know what wholesaling is, it's essentially a giant marketing machine to, communicate with distressed homeowners and try to get them to respond to that marketing. And it takes a lot of work to do that. And time, energy, resources, know-how, and my gift and talent is in communicating, connecting with people. And so I just said, hey, look, if you guys are going to build the machine, I'll go meet the homeowners and I'll put the properties under contract on the sales side. So that's what I did. After my wife and I stumbled around for a little bit, trying to do that. And I went to go work with these guys in their wholesaling operation. I was their first acquisition specialist. That business did really well, ramped up to doing, a really good business where they were spending like $30,000 a month in direct mail marketing. We were doing, a bunch of deals. I don't even remember how many, but I was the acquisitions guy. So I was going out, meeting with the homeowners, putting the properties under contract, and then we're selling those to our investors. Worked with them for 2-3 years, and then went to go work with a bigger shop here in Houston. They did all direct digital marketing, SEO and pay-per-click. They'd been around for a little bit longer, and then worked with them for another couple of years as an acquisition specialist. So long story short on that, I met with thousands of homeowners, put a couple hundred properties under contract. We sold to investors. And then I had a small mastermind group that we were selling a lot of deals to. And they're like, hey, Ben, we love what you're doing. Would you think about coming to work with us? And I was like, well, sure. What does that look like? And they said, well, we want you to source deals off market and on market. So we actually need you to go get your real estate license. And so that's where my journey to get my real estate license really started. And they ended up paying for me to go to a Champion School of Real Estate, the main real estate school down here in Texas. And that's literally how, my journey from investing to getting licensed as an agent started.
Yeah. Well, obviously you were in it. It's almost like you were the listing agent before you're an agent, right? You're just trying to get these properties under contract, solve the current problem, and then get them obviously moved on through wholesaling. And that. So I'm sure you saw a ton of different things. You saw a ton of different deals there, and the problem solving only took off. So you're now in the real estate agent world, and I'm sure. How long did you stay with that company that put you through school, and what was your role as an agent? How much did it change essentially from where you were the acquisitions manager to a licensed real estate agent with that company?
Yeah. So one, it was only a very short period of time. So there were a small kind of startup investment group, and they had 30 people, and I was like, man, people that are ready to buy. But the reality was there was only a small handful of people that were ready to buy, and their cadence for buying was like all over the place. So I was only with them for a short period of time, and then I went to go work with one of the top real estate investors in Houston, a guy that's got like 150 single family rentals, a hard money lending company, property management company, and he had a home buying franchise. So I kept I was his full-time agent, acquiring his deals, selling his flips, working with his hard money clients that were kind of their VIPs. So that's kind of where we ended up going after I got licensed, and becoming more of this thing that I call, as an investor agent, where I work with real estate investors. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. But for that period of time, it was very short with them. I think to answer the other part of your question was, there was no real difference between me working as an acquisitions agent and when I became licensed. I think there's a big myth out there, especially in the real estate investment community. They're like, do not get licensed. Like you cannot get licensed because it's going to limit how much you can do in your real estate investment business. And I just found that to be totally false. And as a matter of fact, I believe getting licensed as a real estate investor is one of the most important things you can do for your investment business, let alone it just being a tool for your business. You get access to all the top information. You get access to the MLS. You don't have to worry about, talking with an agent that may or may not get you the comps. Like you've got the direct feed to get all the information that you need. And it gives you the ability to, hey, if you want to list your own thing, if you want to negotiate a commission, if you want to wipe off and not do a commission, like you've got the ability to do that. I just think a lot of people in the investing game, they're like, well, I can't do something in my real estate investment business that I would be constrained if I was a real estate agent. I just find that that's totally false. And so, So
I think a lot of that falls in the liability category, right? Like people see that, obviously, if you're listing your own properties and acquiring your own properties for your personal investment, I think there's definitely a benefit there. But I think from the wholesale standpoint, the liability comes in with a license attached. But I mean, if you're working for the right people, it's not like you're pulling the covers over these people's eyes. They know what you're doing, ultimately. So that's an interesting point that you make. And let's go a little further into that. So as you've got licensed, how has your investor strategy changed? Or, I mean, do you do any personal investment, or is it still just an agent for investors?
Yeah, it's still both. So real estate's an end game. I think nothing changed. Like my conversation with the homeowner is still the same, just like you said. And I know you're an expert, like how to be a problem solver, how to help people where they are, get to where they want to go. And whether I was licensed or not licensed, that conversation was still the same. I still have a heart to serve them. And my question to any of my friends that are still in the investing world that have a hesitation around getting licensed is like, where are you operating in the gray area? Like where are you operating in the where you've got some legal issues, where you may be saying one thing and doing another. You've got a contract that may have some loopholes in it that you know how to exploit, but they won't. Like, where is this gray area that people are operating in? And that's just my question. Like, it's the integrity of how they choose to operate the business. Given real estate, there's a lot of good, bad, and different, especially in the investing side. But for me, it's just like, hey, what is that gray area? What are you not being fully, transparent about? Because like my conversation was the same. Like when I was investing, they may not know what the term wholesaling means or like what some of the lingo is that we use, but they would still know the process. Hey, we're gonna partner with another investor. They're gonna buy the property. We're not gonna be the end buyer, but like they knew what we were going through, and so that conversation never changed, man. And I think the last thing just on this is my question to any real estate investors, real estate investment companies, like, how are you hedging your real estate investing business with any future policy, rule, regulation change that is coming down the pipe? Okay. And I don't have to say it's just like an idea. It's happening. It's happened in Chicago, Oklahoma, North Carolina, West Virginia. And one of the things is, and I was listening to another podcast with another investor friend, just like we've got real estate investing meetups, so do the real estate associations, not just HAR and NAR, but like the licensing boards for each state. Like we've got TREC down here, the real estate commissions. Guess what their biggest topic of conversation is every time they get together? They're getting together to talk about how to wrap their arms around wholesaling, around real estate investing. And all that is coming to is like, they're going to start putting in rules, regulation, policy requirements for representation. So why not just hedge against all of that and just get licensed now? And then you're good for the future, regardless of what happens. So,
yeah. And I think that's, a wholesaler essentially is acting as a real estate agent. Like if their main goal is to market through the marketing machine and put everything out there and bring an in buyer, it's called something different, but the, like you mentioned, is very similar. So as you've kind of gotten into this space, and do you do any traditional real estate as far as buying and selling properties?
Oh yeah.
So you
added
that to your kind of tool belt, right? I would assume. Like, what's a typical, kind of edge property where it could go flip, it could go, rental investment purchase, but it also could go to a primary residence buyer?
Yeah. The big thing is like getting licensed just allows me to serve my clients, homeowners, people that I know, with all the options. So like, regardless of where people are, if it's my traditional, homeowner, friend, family, neighbor, somebody I go to church with, that they're just looking to buy or sell a place, yes, I serve them for sure. Like this, working in the real estate business, it's an and game. I work with investors and my sphere of influence. It's like, I'm not limiting and saying I'm not doing that. So like it's an and game. I'm doing both or all. Like production, that active income is still important to me. It's important for, where I'm at in my life and business. And so, yeah, I'm still doing deals. I'm still going out and doing that. It's just with my background on the investment side, if I come into a situation, one, I'm able to situationally assess what's happening. If there is some distress, whether it's divorce, job loss, death, unintended inherited property, a significant like natural disaster, fire, flood, like a lot of that stuff, I'm equipped and I know how to handle a conversation with them just the same as if somebody's just looking to move or they're, downsizing, from an empty nest situation. So I'm just able to say, hey, look, I can give you a cash offer. Here's what a cash offer might look like. Here's what, a retail sale might look like. Here's where some of the more creative financing options may fit in there, whether it's a subject to, or have you thought about owner financing, keeping it as a rental? Like I can kind of walk them through all of their options. So ultimately my clients are still going to make the best decision for them.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing that we come across is you do have those options, right? And with your history and your knowledge and all of that, that's where you can solve more problems, right? Than a lot of agents. And it's just basically the investment side is just a pillar right, in your business. Then you have your sphere of influence in your business, and social media, open houses, whatever other people do, or other pillars. But it's nice to have that separation. And sometimes somebody at church is going to come across maybe inherited property that they don't live in or don't have anything, and you can provide guidance on that, based on where it could be. So really cool to kind of diversify that. And I think that's really important, as we continue to have the tech push into our industry, to be able to serve people in ways that, like you said, like, a natural disaster. I've looked at hundreds of homes through the last hurricane or last fire that we had, whatever. And, I kind of know where the investors' plays are, right? I know this investor
Mhm.
bought a bunch from me when I was wholesaling. So those long-term relationships in that side of the business are pretty key. So tell me a little bit about how you've kind of parlayed this into educating agents. And I know you started an organization, where you focus heavily on investor agents, like you talked about. Talk about how that kind of came into play, and what that's done for both sides of your business, with production through relationships and obviously agent attraction.
Yeah. So I believe if any real estate agent anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, if you want to have long, sustained success, you've got to build your business working with real estate investors, period. I just believe that. I know that. When I got licensed, like, I didn't realize this investor agent game plan strategy that I share with our team community, with a greater real estate, community, was like, when I got licensed, I did 39 deals my first year. It was like $10 million in sales. And it was just because I was doing what I was doing. And it was not a transactional working with 39 people. Like, I worked with 8 people and did 39
Mm,
deals. So, like, if you're out there and you're a real estate agent, you're successful, but you're tired of the transactional grind of the business of real estate, working one-to-one with each like client that you get to work with, my invitation to you is learn about working with investors. Work with less people and do more deals. It's way more efficient. It's way more effective. It's way less stressful. It's simpler because it's a financial, not an emotional decision. Like, and you just get to build a longer term relationship that is like, we're helping them create what they want. I'm helping people create wealth in real estate. That's what I want. So help enough people get what they want, I will get what I want. And so that's where I'm in the process of, like, getting to serve people. And it's not working with 100 people or building a giant database of thousands of people that you need in the retail game. It's like
mm,
15, 20, 30 active investors that you're serving at whatever their buying is, like, can turn into an incredible business.
mm. And I think that's really important, because niching down into, maybe land development or whatever, like, if you have 8 clients and they're all kind of in that box or that space, you're going to expand upon that, right? Because as people see, or they want to get into that space, then they keep seeing your name associated with projects and things that are going on. So that's awesome. So tell me a little bit about how now, I mean, actually, my question is, do any of those 8, are any of those 8 in the Wolfpack that you did your first deals with, that you said, hey, get your license and then, join
They
the
are,
Wolfpack?
yeah. They
Yeah.
are. One of my leaders of my team, Luver Sanudo. Yeah, he was my client and now he's an agent. And
Mm,
he's building out a team and organization. He's heavily partnered in the sub 2 community, run Ace Morby. And yeah, I mean, it's true. It's like, I realistically, if there's an investor that I'm working with and they're looking to, get, create wealth in the business, I tell them straight up front, I'm like, it's going to be really important for you to get licensed now or in the future. For
mm,
all those reasons I mentioned earlier. But yeah, it definitely happens. It's continuing to happen. And I'm very upfront with people. Like, if they're looking to get into real estate, getting your license gives you a foundational level of knowledge just in the real estate business. And the reality is, getting into wholesaling or real estate investing is a very challenging business. Like, real estate,
mm,
being a real estate agent in general is challenging. Like, we know the numbers, like 3 out of 4 agents quit, their first year that they get licensed. And I believe that number on the investment side is probably 1,000 times that. Like, who shows up to a real estate networking event, an investing event, and then they never do anything? So it's like that gap, I believe, is so much larger. But the thing is that I just share with you and with anybody that listens, it's like, look, if you start a real estate journey, if you're sharing it on social media, you're talking with your family, friends, you're excited about what you're doing on the investing side, you will no doubt get asked by a friend, family member, somebody that's on your socials saying, hey, can you help me buy or sell my house? Like somebody will say, they're like, oh my God, Jeremy, you're doing real estate. Like, this is so cool. Hey, I'm selling my house. Can you help me? And if you're licensed, you work with them. One, you can choose to license, to represent their property, or getting licensed, you can at least refer it out. Like if you don't want to be a transacting real estate agent, you just put a referral fee on it and give it to somebody that will sell the property for you. Like and that's one of the ways, you can do the business as a licensed investor. That's kind of the other category. Like be a licensed investor. You don't have to be a transacting real estate agent or the realtor that you see, on social media. It's like, it allows you to refer those deals, and that can turn into a revenue stream for you. So
yeah, for sure. Passing those referrals is probably the most form of passive income that we talk about. So tell me a little bit about the connection, right? Obviously you're here at our brokerage, which has revenue share involved. Talk to me a little bit about the investor and the investor agent that the revenue share plan kind of resonates with, because transparently, I didn't even ask you before if one of those clients was with the Wolfpack, and I figured they were. So talk to me about how the revenue share is just another piece that entices some of these investors to get their license.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy to answer that. But to be honest with you, the entire reason why I'm here, the entire reason why we're having this conversation is all for the people. It's for relations. Okay. Like I did not join our team and community. I did not join EXP because it was EXP. I joined because of two of the top investors here in Houston, Chris Bounds and Bram Phillips. They're two of the top real estate investors in my market in Houston, really in the country. They'll go head to head with anybody. And I wanted to be close to them, learn from them, do business with them, partner with them. And I've realized that just with my real estate license, that was the best ticket I could use to get into a relationship with them without having to pay like a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 mastermind fee for a year. Like my license literally became my entrance into like building a relationship with them. Because the cool thing about EXP and then what we do with the revenue share program is like people are invested and interested in my success. Okay. That's why the revenue share model is so powerful, is because like there's all these people. Like I knew Chris and Brant, they were partnered together and, sponsored by one another in the business. And I did not know who Connor was. I had no idea who Connor Steinbrook was. Come to find out shortly after, he's one of the other top real estate investors in Texas. Like he's up in Dallas, and he joined our team and created our community purely for the reason of creating a residual income stream. Like I've been around network marketing for a good part of my life and career, the last 20 years. I've known of it. I've been interested by it. I understand the opportunity and how to really this thing called residual income. And I believe, if you're looking to create residual income, I 100% believe EXP is the best application of the revenue share model, period, across any industry, across any company. Like I believe EXP has the model in the right application in the right business, because of what we do and how we transact and deliver the service of real estate. And it's just, it's a long-term play. Like, don't get me wrong. And I know you've been doing it, successfully for a long time, but like Connor started this 8 years ago, and you can see where we're at as a Wolfpack organization, but it's a long-term commitment. Like it is a long-term, opportunity, to pursue the revenue share, this opportunity of money that we get access to just by you and I sharing what we're doing with the Wolfpack and our team and community globally. It's like, it's one of the exciting and incredible opportunities out there to create a pure residual income. It's not a passive income. Like I really don't believe much in a passive income. There's all energy effort that goes into it, but from a residual income standpoint, I believe we've got it. I believe EXP's it. I believe, what we're doing with our team and community is it, because we're all aligned. Like we've got an understanding of the opportunity, and we're invested in helping people create success.
Yep. And I think, it's key, right? Because there's always, income streams, right? Real estate investment, this income stream. I'm going to wholesale this. I'm going to do novations over here. I'm going to, and so it's just another kind of add-on. And you hit on something really important there that, the ticket into, the rooms that you wanted to be with Chris and Brant was getting your license. And that kind of changed everything. Now Chris and Brant know you're in, you can call them, ask them questions and so on. So it's very important that you specialize down into a specific niche within, EXP in general, because that's free value, right? That you're going to use. And unlike, hey, I'm just going to join my cousin over here or my, cut whatever aunt or uncle over here, like the value that is EXP. Now with co-sponsorship, you can kind of bring some of those guys in. But talk to me about what you've done with your organization, because it wasn't just Chris and Brant. Like you're not just a student. Now I've seen you take, your experiences and so on, and speak on stages and talk, run your organization, and talk a little bit about what that looks like, what it looks like to be part of your investor agent inside the Wolfpack.
Yeah. So just for me, I mean, the theme continues to roll through. It's all about community and relationships. And so the big challenge with real estate is it's very isolating, individualistic, like you're kind of out there fending for yourself. Okay. And that's what I see with a lot of friends and colleagues. And, even when I go speak with other agents, I go to our real estate school. I was actually there just before this. And I just say, hey, look, tell me why you're so excited about where you're at. Like, tell me the most value that you're getting from the brokerage, the team, whoever you're working with. Like, what is the one thing for you that you are like so on fire about being there? And guess what I've heard? Like nothing. I've not heard one person speak enthusiastically about why they're in love with where they're at. And that's why it's so different when we get to go out and share. It's like, I know in my heart, like what we have here is super unique and it's exciting. Like the brokerage game, I believe all brokers are pretty much the same at the end of the day. They deliver a service and they've got all the technology and nuts and bolts and this and that and whatever. Great. But I'm interested in the people. Who do I get to run with? Who do I get to learn from? Who do I get to connect with and collaborate with and do business with? And like all of the traditional brokerages and even mom and pop, like, show me who's done what I want to do and let me work with them. How do I get to do that? And that's why we're so uniquely positioned with what we do in the Wolfpack. That's why I joined. I want to create the wealth and success just like Chris and Brant have. And more importantly, I want to do it in the way that they've done it. And that line goes through all the way up to Connor. It's like a lot of people can create success in this business, but how it's done is, more important to me than that. So being in alignment with those people, and, I'm just grateful, Connor, our community is a reflection of that. So that's why I just know it's so powerful. I'm so excited to be here. And I know what we're doing is going to continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of the main vein of what it is, right? Investor agents, people that are working around that specific niche. Like, I think like everything else, like you get into something and then you peel back the curtain and you're like, oh, I could go this direction and this direction. But in real estate, it's such a mentor-based business, right? Almost every successful real estate agent I talk to has a mentor, whether that's their first managing broker, whether it's another agent that was in their office, whether it's someone they follow on YouTube, whatever it is, like that mentorship in our business is super important because there is so many ways to be ultra successful. I think seeing behind the curtain is awesome. And, having a community where, maybe it's not even in your direct line, right? But there's mentorships and relationships that can come of it, which is extremely awesome. So when we step back and say, okay, Ben, what's the future look like? Where are you going with your, as an investor agent? Tell me what that looks like 5 to 10 years from now.
Yeah, man, that's a good question. I think the biggest thing for me is just to continue to grow and expand our Wolfpack team and community. I think the more that I get to help other agents be successful, sharing, just same as you do, That's what gets me most excited. Like, yes, I still love getting paid. I still love the transactional side of real estate, but I get more excited and fired up to help people build their business, like to help create success. Like some of the agents that just joined, like, and I know you see it too, but like something happens when people join our team and community, like they get turned on and then deals start happening. Like I've got a guy who just joined our team, and I'll share a little bit about our investor agent game plan that I share and developed. It's like he's done 4 deals in the last 2 weeks, and it's like over $10,000 plus commissions on each one of those deals. Okay. He just started working with us over the last couple months, and he took the game plan that we've got, and then he just put it into use and put it into action. It's like leveraging and working with real estate investors is, it's such a powerful opportunity. And like I said, I mean, in terms of scope, 5-10 years from now, I believe a lot of the business is going to be more focused on working with investors. I just believe the more that agents understand and start working with investors, and more importantly, start investing themselves in real estate. Like I'm not where I want to be on the investment side. And I just know I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to get there because of the people I'm around and I'm equipped, and all of that stuff is coming through. It's just, I just believe in my heart, like foundationally, investing in real estate, working with real estate investors is the future for long-term success in this business. And I don't have to look very far. I just look at what Connor's done, Chris has done, Brant's done, what you've done. It's like, hey, I just want to keep it simple and do what the most successful people I know have done in this business and just hold that course. And I think, I just want to impact and help as many people as I can. And I think that's the exciting thing with our team community, leveraging EXP and the revenue share program. Like who knows where we're going to be, 5 or 10 years from now, but there's a lot of agents out there that are having a lot of challenges, lots of struggles, falling victim to the market, this, that, and the other. And that's why I just believe the investor agent game plan is like so powerful.
Yeah, that's interesting because I talk a ton on my course about, finding and leveraging like industry partners, right? And just on this conversation, like there's no easier place to get started if you're willing to do the work and run than real estate investment, right? You have to take some risk because hard money, people will write you checks for hard money, but you have to have the knowledge of an agent or of somebody in the industry, a mentor that can kind of help you run, right? If somebody calls me and they're like, "Hey, Jeremy, I want to buy my first house," I can't just get you a mortgage, right? If someone calls me and says, "Hey, I want to be a real estate investor, I need to source my funds or do something," there's options for that. You can get access to them relatively quickly. So, for the agent that is struggling, you're going to these investor meetups and things like that. You just have to find an up and coming investor, partner with a good lender who knows what they're doing, and make that connection. And so I think you've uncovered a lot here for newer agents to kind of find those deals. So if you were a newer agent or maybe an agent that's struggling, right? Maybe you were a product of the COVID years and we're doing 15 to 20 deals a year rolling out of bed and you haven't, leveraged those. If you're looking at changing the scope to be more of an investor agent, what's step one, do you think, on that?
Yeah. So one, I do free training on the investor agent game plan. So if anybody wants to go to investoragentgameplan.com, you can go there. I do a presentation weekly where I go through and walk through the investor agent game plan. And it's really just 2 pillars. It's very simple. One, you build your business by working with real estate investors. Okay. These are not the social media flippers and influencers that you and I every day. These are people that you already know. They're your business owners, your entrepreneurs, your doctors, your lawyers, people that have money. They don't have the time. And to be honest with you, they're not real interested in learning everything about real estate. They want your help to invest in real estate. So when I say investors inside the investor agent game plan, it's working with people that want to buy rental properties, income producing properties, whether it's, long-term rentals, short-term, but really just keep it very simple. It's like, long-term rentals. We want to help them acquire and build their portfolio. Okay. So that's the first one. Build your business working with investors. You already know all those people. The second part is, which I believe is the game changer, is to work with real estate investment companies to get all of your listing leads for free. Okay.
Mhm.
You've been in the business a long time. If you're tired of the real estate business, the traditional marketing that all works, by the way, calling expireds, calling for sale by owners, doing open houses, all of those things work. Yet, I know from my experience, the one group that contacts every homeowner every day is the real estate investor. And you know this because if you own a home or a rental property, you're getting a piece of mail, a postcard, a letter, a phone call, an email, a text message saying, hey, we'll buy your house cash. I just got one yesterday. Okay. They market to every homeowner, across the entire country. And guess what these real estate investment companies are looking for? They're looking for the needle in a haystack. Okay. They're looking for the 1 out of 1,000 homeowner that's in some pretty serious trouble, then some serious distress. They've had a major emergency. They've got death, divorce, distress, like financial challenges, foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, probate, like they need the help. They need that service. And if you remember to what I mentioned earlier, when I was in acquisitions, I met with thousands of homeowners and I only worked with like a couple hundred of them. So like all of these homeowners that I met with in the first 5 years of my career, I literally sat at dining room tables, couches, front porches with like thousands of people. And I was in pursuit of the transaction, not the relationship. So guess what happens in this bigger, broader brushstroke of real estate investment? And all these companies that are doing an insane amount of marketing, by the way. Like the first company I worked with did $30,000 a month in direct mail. The second company was doing $50,000 a month in digital, pay-per-click, and SEO marketing. Those are two small companies here in Houston. Okay. They were spending that much money. And just know that 60 to 70% of the leads that come back to these real estate investment companies, they're using them. Okay. They're throwing them away. But you, as a traditional real estate agent, if you want free leads, that's exactly what I share with you in the game plan, how to have a conversation with them about turning those leads they're not using into you as an agent, listings and closings, and a return on investment for all these marketing dollars that these investment companies are not using. So it's like, it is insane how much opportunity there is because they're doing all the work for me. They're doing the entire marketing machine. They're contacting every homeowner every day. All I'm doing is just plugging into their stream of leads. I had this conversation with one investment company here in Houston. They sent me a spreadsheet with 80 hot leads, like listing leads. And all I did that, I'm still working that list, and that list can expand and go forever. And you only need to work with a couple of these companies to get into their, flow of leads. And you can, it's incredible how much is available out there. So
Yeah, that's a brilliant strategy, and most of them aren't licensed, so you don't even have to pay a referral fee, right? And if they are, a referral fee is well worth it because hot listing leads are worth it for sure. So, Ben, that's awesome, man. I appreciate so much your time and everything put in. Where can people kind of connect with you, learn more about your investor agent game plan? What's best for you for that?
Yeah. So one, you can go and register for the free presentation for the game plan at investoragentgameplan.com. And then just follow me on social media. Most active on Instagram. So at Benjamin, Benjamin. And then my last name is Deal, Deal. Just follow me there, Facebook, social media. So feel free to reach out to me. Either way, I'd be happy to help.
Absolutely. That's awesome. We'll also link it below. Ben, thanks so much for your time today. And if you're not out there reaching out to those major investment companies who are talking to every homeowner across the country, you missed something on this one. So thanks so much, Ben, for your time.
Yep. Thanks, bro.